And the reason that it has stuck with me is because so many times, even in parenting children, you don't realize how you can disable them from things that they can very rightly do themselves. And but what happened with this young child is that the parents chose to keep him at home and work with him day and night for years. And then suddenly one day, literally it took all of the strength that he had and he was able to actually get himself up. But this took years and years. And he shows the example that had they put him in an environment that was doing therapy with other children in the same situation, was never going to give him the mindset that that's not who he was. So it was that mindset. And again, takes us back to mindset. And, our mindset is so important. It can make or break us. And it is so important to always remember to just really pay attention to what are we thinking, what are we saying to ourselves, and what are we saying in between our ears.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Ability Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. I have a really awesome guest today. Her name is Katherine, and I think I'm going to stutter every time I say your name. But okay. She's also a fellow 10X coach, so I know her through that, and she's just remarkable. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you like to spend your time?
Okay, so like you said, I am a certified 10X business coach, and I am super excited to be able to share with people. Most times, businesses, they have a struggle with cash flow, sales, marketing, which affects their company culture. And I'm all about that company culture that really is just getting everybody on the same page, moving in the same direction. So I actually have been able to find a tool in which to help them market themselves. And so I'm super excited because I also have a podcast, and I'm excited about a platform in which to be able to, even for myself, not all of us are like really good at the social media and technology and whatnot. And so what I have found is that I'm able to help them market themselves now through this platform of being able to use AI as a tool and create all of the pieces in ways to tell one story, right?
Yep. And, I used the same platform, and it was awesome. Like, I recorded 6 episodes before I got involved in that platform. And then, once I was like, okay, podcasting is going to be easy now. So let's just go. So, since I got started about a month ago, I've recorded another 18 episodes. So yeah, I'm just rocking and rolling.
Excellent. But what I love most is I love the collaboration. I love the community, and I love the connections with all of these people from all over the world.
Yep.
And everyone has something to offer. So I love connecting with people that have had a journey. They have had challenges to overcome. And we all have adversity, and you have to overcome them. But through collaboration, there are so many answers that we can find for ourselves, for businesses, and we can become that bridge, that gap, that bridges the gap, between and cross-pollinates businesses together.
Exactly. And that's the power of podcasting. And a lot of people don't realize it. They just think, oh, I might get clients here and there, but it's much more than that. It's meeting people. Every guest I have on my show, like you said, they have something to offer. And I learn from each and every guest that I have. So, not only is it good for my audience, but it's good for me too.
Well, that's what I love. I love the fact that we're able to actually have a platform to invite businesses in. So here's what I've been finding now, that as I'm doing that, I'm able to also get to a point where I can talk to them about the pain points that they have that I could help to solve, the pain points that I may not be the person to solve for another business, but I can connect the two together, and then they can help solve that problem for them. So I think that together through this whole podcasting, what's nice is we can actually help this. Everyone in this world needs to have collaboration and community.
Yeah.
And it's a great way in which to do that.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm seeing it more and more myself. The community that we have with the podcast group, there's so many people with so many different expertise, and it's like if I ever get stuck on something, I just reach out to the group and they help right away. It's just amazing.
That's right. Here's the thing, Nick, you are such an inspiration because you are like the leader of the pack. You're just paving the way, showing us that no matter what, there is nothing that is too difficult to overcome. And it's a constant reminder. And I love that. I love that about you. I love that about your energy. I love that about what you bring to the table. It really does help the world move forward. But that's what we're finding also in collaborating with other people in the world and having them on as our guests. There's so much that they have to offer that really helps us. So,
well, thank you so much for that. It really means a lot. And, I keep hearing things like that, but it's like I'm just doing what I have to do to help more people. That's what everything that I do is all about, just helping others. And it's great that me, focusing on growing my business and helping other people is also helping everybody within the groups that I'm involved in. Like you and everybody in the 10X community. They all say it. I'm an inspiration to them, so they can do more for themselves and keep going and not get stuck like they used to.
that's right. And I love that because you become a 10X business coach to be able to help others and help them to find solutions to the problems that they have, right? And they have pain points. But what I love about this community and being able to do that and have the added platform is that, so you're an inspiration to us, right? You're an inspiration to everyone who you touch. So the reason that I say that is every business owner has something to have to overcome. They have difficulties and we're able to help them with that. But along the way, people are just people. And so people need anything that we have to offer them that will help them and to help to lead the way. And so I love that you are here to just show us that no matter what, there is never an excuse, because we can have excuse-itis, right?
Oh, yeah.
No excuses. Yep. So you're that constant reminder. There is no excuse. If Nick could get up every day and he can do it, then we can too, for sure. So there is nothing that I can say that I can, that I will use the word can't. I will never use the word can't, for sure.
Yep. That's good, because that's what I live by. I don't ever say I can't. Instead I say, how can I? And
right.
If you just have that in the back of your mind all the time, when something comes up and your first thought is going to be, I can't do that. But then you're like, oh, hold on. How can I do this?
That's
and
right.
Then you start to look for how to solve your problems on your own, and just things just align and work out. And it's just like, once I started using that for myself, like the possibilities are endless for me. I know I can achieve all of my goals. May not get to like my exact number, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Because I have big 10X goals, just like the rest of us in the community. But I get up every morning and I push towards my goals. And I think that's super important.
I find that interesting that you say that because, I've been having lots of conversations with people. And one of the things that I'm finding is that when people are willing to ask themselves questions, that part of what allows change to happen is when they ask themselves the right questions. And, you've had to do that along the journey, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when we ask ourselves questions, so at one point I was a single mom for 14 years and I had to ask myself the right questions. What would my life look like in 10 years if I stayed? Or what does it look like in 10 years if I leave? Because when things are just not repairable, then you have to make new choices. But then along the way, you find the answers, but you have to trust your journey. And so many times we forget to trust our inner knowing. And so, but yeah, so.
And I like that you brought up, like, you gotta trust the journey, because a lot of people get very discouraged when, things are looking good and then all of a sudden they're not. Well, and then a lot of times when people go down that hill, they stop. And it's like, no, just keep doing it. Just keep going, keep pushing, and then you start to come up the other side again.
Well, the only true way of failing is to quit.
Exactly. I say that all the time.
So my parents always raised us, we had 6 children in our family, and, my parents were married 59 years. And that was just always the thing, the mantra. It was like, quitting is not an option. No matter what, quitting is just not an option. And so I feel that is something that we really need to be embedding in people, is to understand that the only way to fail is to quit. And so, yes.
I work on that with all of my clients, because they have that limited belief that they can't do certain things. And if they try and it doesn't go the way that they want, they give up. It's like, no, just try again and try again and try again. Eventually, you'll figure it out.
That's right. I have a client that I work with, and I just find it interesting that as I work with them, people get discouraged very quickly in today's, world. And I find that they're not willing at times to just write their goals down and figure out what it is that they do want, asking yourself the right questions, and literally being able to be in that place of asking yourself, what do I want? So then a lot of times you ask people, what do you want? They don't even know what they want. So I encourage everyone to literally sit with yourself for just a few moments and just give yourself that peace and quiet and really ask yourself, what do you want? And then what am I willing to do to get what I want? So what am I willing to do is another question, that we need to ask ourselves.
And then, when you figure out what you want, then you need to ask yourself, why do I want it? Because if your why is big enough, the how will reveal itself.
Yes. So that's part of trusting the journey. So I love that, because when your why is big enough, it's almost like the universe conspires to bring everything towards you that is going to be the answer to the questions that you've been asking, right?
Yep, exactly. Like, for instance, this is a smaller one, but, I was like, how am I going to do my podcast? I don't know how to edit. I don't, there was a lot that I didn't know how to do, but I wasn't going to ever say I couldn't do it, but I was like, this is going to take a lot of time. Well, then magic happened, and I got introduced to a software that takes care of all the hard work that I didn't want to do. So, yeah, it's just amazing how things work out.
Well, you know what I love? It's interesting that you said that, because I don't think that people really realize that through having a platform that's their own platform, you get to collaborate with people. I mean, it is the number one, number two, number three way in which to create revenue. The number one, number two, number three way in which to be a lead magnet. And then the number one, number two, number three way in which to get yourself known in the world. And when you want to actually have a platform to create the collaboration, this is the best way to do it. And so for anyone who has a business, anyone who wants to be able to have those relationships and build those relationships, if anyone who wants to find what the pain points of others are and how you can help to collaborate and make that, and help them along with them helping you, then this is the platform to do it on. It really does work.
Yeah, I agree. And, another thing that I love is, I get guests on my show that have, disabilities. I like to say different abilities, but I get a lot of guests that have, different abilities, and then I'm able to learn from them the struggles that they've gone through, how they came over them, because a lot of, the clients that I'm getting all have disabilities. So it's my way of learning how to better serve my clients. And that right there is so powerful.
So there's something that reminds me of a conversation that you and I had. And what I love about your vision is also that it's not just the client with the abilities, right, that are just, things that they have to overcome. It's also the parents. The parents have to pave the way and make sure that the mindset is right. So that, but you're able to actually help parents because you have the experience. Someone else wouldn't have that experience to be able to navigate that. But I love that you're willing to actually help parents navigate with their children a better way. But you've also had a platform where your parents made sure your mindset was right. And so you're able to now take that and send that out into the world. So that's a beautiful experience and a beautiful thought about what it is that our mindset is, because no matter what, we all have a mindset, and it could hold us back or it could propel us forward.
Exactly. And, that's what I've seen my whole life. It was like, okay, I had my parents that, they pushed me hard, like I grew up on a farm. I had chores. I had to get up and get things done. They didn't, they didn't let me not do things just because I had different abilities. My dad always, let's go work, and that's what I did. But then I see other people that I know that have a similar disability to me, and their parents were the opposite, and their parents wouldn't let them do things because they were always afraid that they would get hurt or let down or things like that. And unfortunately, those people are not anywhere near where I am in life. I don't want to say that in a bad way, but they're not. And I know that they have it in them to push themselves and figure out that, hey, I can either go work or start my own business or, something like that. But their parents tell them, you're living on Social Security your whole life. No.
That reminds me of a story, and it's so interesting that I've met you in my lifetime here, because I remember reading way back, Zig Ziglar had actually told the story of a young boy that was born with a disability at the time. They wanted to make them believe that he was never going to walk, that he was that they should just put him in a home, right? And that story has literally stuck with me my whole life. And the reason that it has stuck with me is because so many times, even in parenting children, you don't realize how you can disable them from things that they can very rightly do themselves. And but what happened with this young child is that the parents chose to keep him at home and work with him day and night for years. And then suddenly, one day, literally it took all of the strength that he had, and he was able to actually get himself up. But this took years and years. And he shows the example that had they put him in an environment that was doing therapy with other children in the same situation, was never going to give him the mindset that that's not who he was. So it was that mindset. And again, takes us back to mindset. And, our mindset is so important. It can make or break us. And it is so important to always remember to just really pay attention to what are we thinking, what are we saying to ourselves, and what are we saying in between our ears.
I agree so much. Mindset is literally everything. You know, I've been on my journey for, 2.5 years now to improve my mindset and everything. And yeah, when you have a positive mindset, you can accomplish anything. And then I want to go back to your story about the child who had a disability, because the doctors told my mom I would never walk. And at 5 years old, I started walking. But that's only because my parents asked me, do you want to learn how to walk? Well, of course I do. What kind of question is that? So that was like my first big step in my life. Like, okay, I overcame that. What else can I do?
So I was raised by a mom who absolutely refused to believe, diagnosis. She was all about, doing things the healthy way and resetting whatever it was. And so because of that, I had a period of time of where my health had, gone awry, and they give you the, diagnosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of the training that I had of, nope, I will not sign on to that. I absolutely refuse. So then I was able to say, you know what? I allowed this in. I'm going to take this out, and I will figure out how to do that. And I was able to do that. And I just am so grateful, because I was raised by a mom that was like, nope, no matter what, giving up's not an option. And doing this, being able to go inside and figure out what it is that you need to do to heal your body was more important. And so because that was my mantra, that, I got it there, I will get it out. And that was what I was able to do. And I love
Wow.
that is another reason why your mindset is so important. Never signing on to somebody else's story. I was like, nope, not my story, not accepting that. So it makes a difference. It does make a difference what we think about, we bring about.
Oh yeah, it makes a huge difference. And that kind of reminds me, diagnosis, it's a label.
Yes.
And when you get diagnosed with something, you're labeled as that your whole life.
Yes.
And I feel like that's a lot of the problem is people go, oh, I have a disability. I say it too, but that's not who I am. That's just a part of who I am. It's not like I am cerebral palsy. That's not who I am. I'm Nick Yerhart. Yes, I have cerebral palsy, but guess what? That makes me the incredible person that I am. Because if I didn't have to go through all the struggles that I've had over my life, who knows who I would be? Who knows the mindset I would have? And more than likely, I wouldn't be on this journey to help, 1 billion people, because that's my goal, is to help 1 billion people in my lifetime. And I don't think I would be where I'm at if I didn't have it.
Well, and you know what? I just admire that. I admire that that is a target that you have, and that you are 100% all in, because you show, your actions show it every single day, every day. And trust and believe that even the people who don't say it are like applauding. It's like, oh my goodness, go Nick, keep going, and keep showing, just showing the world that, really, there are no disabilities. It's, your abilities are infinite, like you say.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I like to say, we all have our own unique abilities. So it's just about figuring out what that is.
So here's the thing, Nick, too, is whether it be in business or in personal, no matter what, we all have a gift, and we all have something to bring to the table. We all have something. So just really finding out what it is that you have, and then just being your authentic self and just taking that and sending it out into the world. That to me is the best honor that we could do with this life that we have, right? With the dash.
Yep.
I've been all about this dash and what you're doing with the dash. And so this time of reflection, I guess once you get to a certain age, you have a lot of time to reflect on what it is that you want that to represent. And all of us should really just know that every single day when you get up on purpose to just be the difference maker. Sometimes it's just giving your smile away. Sometimes it's just giving somebody that little piece of hope that there's more that they can yet do. That to me is super important. And when you smile at somebody, they do smile back. Or they look at you like, what are you smiling about, right?
Yeah.
And you smile all the time. And I love that about you, because it's just such an encouragement. It lifts us up.
And it's kind of funny because my smile has been improving. Like before, taking pictures was terrible. I always disliked it when my mom was like, all right, family photo time. Because like before, I couldn't smile like on demand. It had to be like an authentic smile. And now that I do all my social media content, at the end of every video, I smile. And I've been doing that on purpose just to train myself to smile even when, there's nothing really to smile at. Because like when you make your own video, like, you're going to smile at yourself? Like, no. But it's just kind of cool how and no matter how old you are, you can still learn new things and you can still improve yourself.
Well, here's what I heard you say.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're doing the videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is that's another muscle that we're using.
Mm-hmm.
So through the podcasting, we're constantly recording. We're constantly having to have our face in front of the camera. And so you have been using your muscle over and over. And I feel the same, that I've been using that muscle over and over. And as you use a muscle, what happens is the muscle gets stronger. It's a habit. So you're creating a new discipline. And so now your discipline is you're learning to smile more. But you're authentically doing it now.
Yeah,
because you've been practicing over and over. So, and getting in front of a camera isn't something that everybody wants to do or can do. And they can, actually, that was incorrect. They can do it. It's the choice not to. But what I love is that as I've been doing this, I've been able to use that muscle over and over of just being able to tell the world what I do and how I can help and what it is that, how you can actually collaborate together and do business, but also using that muscle over and over makes you more comfortable, in articulating to people what you do, but also makes you more comfortable being in front of that camera and just talking to strangers. Sometimes when you're children, your parents tell you, oh, don't talk to strangers. So then when you grow up, you get in your head like, I shouldn't be talking to strangers. There's a lot of people who are adults doing that. It's like, wait, we're not children anymore. We know the difference between, who we should talk to and who we shouldn't. So anyway, yes.
Yep. Exactly. So what does my slogan, your abilities are infinite, mean to you?
Oh, that's a really good question. What does it mean to me? It means that there is nothing that I can't do. There is nothing that is impossible, because there is only possibility. That's what it means to me. It's what's possible.
I love that so much. That's amazing. I ask that question at the end of every episode, and I just love hearing all the different, replies that I get. So yeah, thank you. That's amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors. So let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone. Remember, your abilities are infinite.